For the players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast is fueled by the Man Shake. I lost 30 kilos in 10 months using this meal replacement shake. If you want to support the show and max in my weight loss journey, or to even start your own, click the link in the description below. The Man Shake. Real blokes, real results.
For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 8+ years in that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures where you can watch us record this show live, where you can become part of the show. It's going to be in the chat. It's always good times in the chat. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can. Patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Happy E3, Max. I can touch you because you're in the room.
Actually, I don't think you're supposed to.
I'm not allowed to touch you.
I'm calling HR.
Yeah. You know the problem is the HR department for this is me.
Shit.
You like call me and I'm like, hey. You're like, Ryan's touched me appropriately. I didn't say it that way.
I didn't say it that way. Pixar, it didn't happen. I literally have video proof. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's good to be out of the house, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, lockdown is still relatively in effect in Geelong. Geelong Regional Victoria is a little bit loose. We can have 2 visitors per day. You're it. That's it. No one else today. But yeah, because I had my good friend Craig over last night because it was his 50th birthday today, time of recording. So he came over and had dinner with us and hung out with James, and we went to an escape room, and I turns out I'm really shit at escape rooms.
I can see that.
Show you. Like the problem is that cause I did it because it was like pairing, so I did it with my wife, and her and I are both internal thinkers. So like we could hear the other cells just like communicating with each other, like doing what you're supposed to be doing, and her and I are just staring at different things in the room, going, like not helping each other. Just a lot of inner thinking. But yeah, so like it's cool to have people and go places and do things. Like it was like a tough 2 weeks. And thankfully we don't live in Melbourne because I would have fucking just killed myself by now. But shit, like I don't know how they're doing it. I don't envy them at all. But yeah, how was it being able to do things? How you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad. I caught up with some people yesterday. Had a solid board gaming sesh, so that was good. It's nice to have a little bit of freedom back.
It's a little bit, not a lot. It's a little bit.
Although one of my friends is a GP, and I'm like, hey, so I did because obviously I haven't received my vaccination yet. Apparently, I'm not eligible. Did the eligibility checker, and it's like one of the fine prints is if you have any hematological problems, you're totally good to go. So I while he was over yesterday, I'm like, hey, I have ITP, and he's like, oh yeah, I know, yeah. I'm like, it's a hematological issue, right? He's like, yes. I'm like, can I go get vaccinated? He's like, probably. He's like, as long as you can prove that you have it, like, yes.
Stab me and see what happens.
So, yeah, I might see what I can do. I might ring my doctor and be like, hey, can I do this, please? And hopefully,
I can't see why not.
Hopefully, I can join my wife and yourself in the vaccination club.
Yeah, my wife got her second shot this week, and she didn't die. She actually responded to this one way better than the first one. So, because I just kind of like pilled my way through the first one, I just slept most of it. So, I'm really like, mine's in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so my wife's just coming up in a couple of weeks too, and the first one, she's like, she woke up in the middle of the night because of how bad her migraine was. She's like, it was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Did she get the Holden Astra or the Pfizer?
She got the Astra.
Ah. Yeah, so I got the AstraZeneca as well, and like, yeah. So the thing is, I think I told the story on here before. So I did a nerve in my neck the day before, and that caused me to vomit and have this redonkulous headache. So I didn't even notice any effects of the AstraZeneca because my neck pain was so extreme. I was just dying in that place instead.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's too bad, but it's cool, like, you know, because that's the thing. Everyone needs to get fucking vaccinated. That's the next step now. And it's just our government is dumb, and eventually we'll all get vaccinated. It's all sweet. It's like, hey, go get vaccinated. Don't rush though. Like, no, can you?
Yeah, please.
Please rush. I want to go do things. I want to be able to go interstate. I'd like to be able to go international at some point.
I want to be able to lick street posts again.
Yeah, I want to be able to go to just like rubbing my face on things that I shouldn't be. Like, what was that? I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And I just get disgustingly sick in other ways. But yeah, other than that, my week's been alright. I haven't done a whole much. I started building a Gundam.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you finished that sentence.
What? I'm building a gun. I started building a gun, damn it. No. A friend of mine,
Okay.
so I was bullshitting with a mate of mine about mini painting and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I love the building part. Everyone hates the building part of minis. Everyone likes the painting part. I'm like, fuck no, I love the building part of minis. And so he's like, oh, have you ever built a Gundam? I'm like, nah, because Gundam's dumb. Basically, I just like shitting on that and weeby things. He's like, I'll get you one, and so he gave me one, and I'm building it over there, and it's a fucking ton of fun. It's like, you know, 'cause it's like no glue. It's just kind of like, you know, putting it together, and it's about halfway done. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. What else on this week? Oh, and this is totally unrelated to PlayStation or fucking anything.
So, nothing out of the normal.
Doesn't get the normal. I watched Bo Burnham's Inside.
Oh, yeah.
This week, and that has acted like completely fucked with my brain. Like, I've not been able to not think about it since I watched it. It is so good.
I haven't watched it yet. I've been meaning to. It's in my.
Oh my, it's
in my
absolutely
watch
tremendous.
list.
So for those who don't know, so Bo Burnham is he's an old YouTuber who, you know, he's a big comedian, sort of who about 5-6 years ago kind of quit the business due to mental health challenges. So we're having a lot of like massive panic attacks and stuff on stage, and it's a lot. So then he got to a point where he felt that he could return. So he, you know, obviously started looking at getting back on stage and spoke to Netflix about doing a special, and bam, pandemic. So the decision was to like film the entire thing in a bedroom, like in a room. It's like an old, like a little studio space. So he filmed this entire special, all filmed in one room, with just him and a camera and lights and just incredible production. Like, for something that's made in a back room of a house, it's better than most movies that I've seen. Like, it is ridiculous how good it is. And musically, it's fantastic. Like, it's because it is kind of this really interesting spiral into a man just crumbling for being stuck in a house for a year, right? Mm-hmm. So the first couple of songs are kind of like high and jovial. And because it's all done in his house, it's all very synth-based. So it's very 80s inspired. So like watching it sort of like get all kind of floaty at the start and then just get progressively fucking dreary and dark and as he just sort of clearly is rapidly declining in mental health. And it's just completely it's absorbed my brain. Like there's one song in particular, it's like one of the last songs. We're gonna get fucking depressing, by the way, so trigger warning. The song itself, it's called All Eyes on Me, and it's essentially the way I read the song, because it's foreboding. It's it's got like a what's it called? Like an auto tune on the voice that brings it down. It's got like a floaty echo on it, so it's kind of got this real ominous sort of like low end feel to it. And in the delivery, it's all about like, you know, fucking, because the one thing that Bo Burnham has done really, really well in a lot of his other songs is layer a deeper meaning in what seems kind of chill. So like the key lines of it are like, you know, put your hands up, get out of your seats, all eyes on me, right? Like that sounds like woo, you're like at a concert, and that's the delivery. But it's like as you get deeper in the song, you realize it's almost like that foreboding voice in the back of his head is trying to like got him hostage. Yeah, because talks all about, you know, this weird, the way I interpret it, and probably why it's hit me so hard, is the song is literally the voice in his head that tries to pull you into the void. So like the entire delivery of it, it's all about, you know, like, hey, don't be scared. It's cool, man. Like, look, come over here. It's cool. Come on over. And it's like, you know, like that voice is pulling you to that shitty part of your brain. And I fucking love it. There's a verse at the end that's just kind of, just like, you know, one of those ones just kind of talks about like, yeah, because like as the voice is like calming and kind of like trying to like voice, and then at the end it just kind of goes nah, and then just kind of gets manic and completely shifts. Oh, I'm in love with that song personally, and the whole special in general. Everyone should go totally check it out. But yeah, be wary because it can be intense. Like it was quite intense. Yeah. For me, obviously. You know, so it's a great song about turning 30. It's a great song about just feeling like shit. It's a great. There's a great song about white women Instagrams. That's brilliant. One about the internet. 2 songs about Jeffrey Bezos for some reason. It's so good, man. It's absolute. I can't help but like think about it all the time. I woke up this morning thinking about it. I went to bed thinking about it. It just randomly pops up in my brain, and I don't know. It's just because like what I've found. The things that the odd bits of media that I've connected to over the last, especially musically, have been ones that have sort of come out or are affected by this whole quarantine isolation. Is, you know, like the two main albums that have hit me is this with Inside, and the other being Bring Me the Horizon's Post-Human Survival Horror, which they released completely in lockdown, and it's all about lockdown and isolation and all the darkness that comes with it. So obviously something about that's kicking with me, which is great because like I know there's other albums out there. Like I think 21 Parts did one as well recently, and their new album's all about the isolation, the lockdown, but they're looking at it very optimistically. Yeah, I'm like, nah, I got no time for that. Give me the fucking dark ones. So like the Bring Me the Horizon and this is like nailing it for me on the head apparently.
Fair enough.
Totally check it out.
Yeah, like totally I said, it is in my watch list, ready to go.
Yeah,
it's just. A lot of my free time at the moment is I'm either with my kid and I can't have it on while she's there.
No, you don't have it with your kid on.
And I've got like 2 hours before work each night between kid going to bed and me going to work. And I'm just like, I want to chill before I go to work.
Yeah, you don't want to go fucking depressing before you go to work.
So it's finding that sweet spot to sit down and you know, suss it out.
But what you normally do in that 2-hour window, however, is play games.
Oh, and I've been playing a fantastic game this week.
So, Max, what have we been playing this
Well, I don't
week?
think you've been playing it, but I've been playing No Man's Sky.
I have not been playing No Man's Sky.
So, after last week, they got their big update, which we spoke about quickly. I'm like, I'm going to reinstall it. I'm going to jump in. It looks real good.
Yeah.
It looks real good. But it's the same game.
No, of course.
So, I started again fresh because I'm like, I don't know how to play this game anymore. I'm going to What?
I think. Oh, sorry. I forgot that. I forgot that I routed the audio to the TV. Give me the mouse because it just scared the shit out of me.
Like you're gonna what?
Sorry, that was for a follow. Thank you, Fabes19, for the follow there.
And
yeah, you know.
So yeah, started fresh. It's like put me on this planet. I'm like, cool. It's, you know, you're doing your thing. It sends you away to go repair your ship, and I'm like, all right, no worries. Like literally 2 minutes after I land. Radioactive storm and I die. I'm like, sweet, love it. So glad I re-downloaded this game. Cracked the shits, turned it off, and I'm like, dumb game. Looks nice though.
Yeah. Well, that's what we discussed last week. Like, because I've tried to.
Like, it is brutal. Because I just played the normal version. Because when you boot it up, you can now just go like survival mode or co-op mode.
Oh,
or
really?
Like sandbox, do whatever you want mode. I'm like, I'll play it properly. It's like, here, I have the most like contaminated radioactive planet you've ever seen in your life, and I'm just like instantly dying as soon as I land. I'm like, cool, love it. No flying guys for me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So like for me, I look at it and I go, I know you're the same. Because like I tried to love you, but I know
you just shower me in
I know you're just gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I had expectations of you, and then they were gone.
Now, don't get me wrong. I commend the team for sticking with it.
Oh, look, shout out to Hello Games. Hello Games are going well hard, but the problem is that the game is really, I really respect all the extra work they've put in and they've put on it, but I just can't, like, when you go back and you see the framework is exactly the same, I go, that was the problem.
That was the problem.
The other parts weren't really the issue. I appreciate it. Like, yeah, you're meeting some of the promises of what No Man's Sky was supposed to be, but
yeah, pretty much.
I can't. Like, go in there and it's like, just go shoot your laser at a plant for a while. I'm like, no, man. But one thing that we have correctly been playing together is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So, with thanks to PlayStation Australia for providing us the review code, we have been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on our PS5s. Quick rundown: Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is essentially a continuation of the main storyline. It is a direct sequel to, I think it was Into the Nexus was the last one.
Yeah.
Because that's the dimension. So the game kicks off with Ratchet and Clank, and they're at a celebratory event, a big parade for them being the heroes that they are. In doing so, Clank's like, Ratchet, I have a gift for you. It is the Dimensionator. It's something that you saw back in the day. So for those that have played previous Ratchet and Clanks, big, it's like, oh my god, the Dimensionator. And with that, you can now go find your Lombax family, your race of people, because we know that they are in another dimension somewhere. As I punch the microphone, and this will help you get there. Dr. Nefarious rocks up, fucks off with the Dimensionator. Chaos ensues.
I like how, like, right off the bat, I love how self-aware it is about itself. Because Ratchet's like, why are we getting a hero celebration? We haven't done anything for, like, years. And everyone's like, woo!
And then, of course, there's rivets in there as well, but I don't want to really, like, we will touch some story things because you want to have both finish the game.
Yeah.
But we don't want to, like, there's no major spoileries. Like, it's not like Last of Us where there's, like, big story beats. Everyone goes, but we still don't want to, like, mess with it too hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts?
The game starts off really strong and it finishes just as strong.
Yeah. Well, your tone of voice when you go, oh no.
This game is absolutely fantastic. To put it another way, this game stopped me from picking up Final Fantasy on launch day.
Damn, and this motherfucker's got like Final Fantasy tattoos and shit.
So, I got the platinum trophy for it last night, so it is the first platinum on the PopC account.
All that wasn't for you.
Which is a bit of a bummer, because if I had known that, I would have played a ridiculous game for an easy platinum. Like, there you go. The game is so much fun. The artwork, the design of it is absolutely fantastic. I played it in performance mode with ray tracing enabled the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually check out any other way. The game runs so smoothly. The story is compelling that it pulls you forward. You want to know more. The gunplay. Also, I should point out, this is the first time I've ever actually played a Ratchet and Clank game. Normally, I just watch my wife play them. So this is the first time I've actually played one myself. Gunplay was fantastic. I enjoy the large variety of weapons. There was a few that kind of I gravitated towards more than others, so some just got left behind. Which is a real shame, but that's what happens when you have like 20 odd.
Yeah, when there's a big
weapons.
variety. Yeah,
there's so much stuff. Yeah, it was just fun to play. I was constantly going, when can I sit back down again and play more? They did such a great job with it.
Yeah, look, I'm in a similar boat. I thought it was brilliant. I love it dearly. It was. I had this feeling going in that this is going to be one of those standout games of the year, and I do think it is. I do think that this is genuinely a game of the year contender, not just from a visual perspective, because it is stunning, but from a gameplay perspective as well. Like, while also being an incredibly brilliant and good looking game, it plays fantastic.
Yeah. So
as you mentioned, the gameplay is frenetic. It's tight. It's fun. Like, I love just working my way through all the different guns, because what I would do is there's no bad choice. Like, there are choices that I use less, but there's no bad choice.
I just wholeheartedly disagree.
Really?
That stupid little helicopter drone that shoots stuff always misses.
Which one? The bombardier?
Yeah, it's a hot garbage.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it ever hit anything. I'm just like, this is terrible.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm like, I solely used it against the guys with shields. I'm like, I can't shoot them, so I'll just throw this dude up in the air and he'll just rain fire from above. Missed every single shot. I was like, you are useless. I hate you.
Well, I love the range of weaponry. Like, obviously I did have ones that I would go to that would be my priority choice. So I'd be like, oh, cool, I'll go you. Cool, I'll go you. And then I would just kind of rotate and pick the other ones as needed. Story-wise, it's dope. It's charming. It's adorable. And it also hits a number of different parts as well. For me, there's a couple of, like, sort of minor mental healthy sort of things in there as well, which always tickle my fancy, being a mental health worker myself and just sort of being a big mental health advocate. It was great. I loved how they've brought Rivet in, but it doesn't like take away from, you know, Ratchet. It's like the inclusion of a secondary character or a secondary main character without sort of diminishing the first or anything like that. Having, you know, like it's I think it's pretty well known from some of the footage. Like there is a separation, like Clank is separated from Ratchet for a big hunk of the game, which to me isn't really a negative. I thought that was really cool. It's a great way to connect Rivet into it while sort of creating this unified scenario. The enemy type was dope. Was cool. It was great to sort of see different, as we go through different dimensions, different versions of similar-ish enemies. But it's always fun.
Yeah,
always fun just jumping, shooting, and platform. The platforming is brilliant as well. There were some times where it kicked me in the ass. I did experience some bugs.
Yeah, same.
I got stuck in a couple of walls. Like right at the beginning, I got stuck between Mrs. Zircon and a wall. I just couldn't get out. There was another time where I was in one of the battle arenas where I jumped and I landed in the lava and I died and I fell through the world, and then I respawned in the sky. Then I fell into the lava again, and then it pushed me into because it was a staged battle. Yeah. I was fighting someone, and there was multiple stages. Like, you know, once you hit 80% health, you can move on to the next one. Once you hit whatever, right? So I hit what should have been the 50% stage, but they were still at 80%, and the game wigged out. So like I couldn't move, I couldn't shoot, I couldn't do anything. The only thing I could do was go to the menu screen.
Okay.
So then I quit out, reloaded, no chance. It's loading. It was spawning me in that load. So thankfully, because there is no manual save feature in this game, it does keep a backlog of your saves. Yep. So that way I just went back a couple of saves and I was fine.
I had a similar issue in the battle arena as well. So the boss in question punched me through one of the invisible walls of the arena. And my character was kind of wigging out a bit, and then all of a sudden it slingshot me back into the arena real quick. So after like 10 seconds of some, you know, violent vibrations in the wall, I just flew out. Everything was all good again. And then the other one I think was my own doing. So once you get really spoilery, nothing to do with the story, you get boots that allow you to rocket skate quite quickly. So I was using it in like speedrun strats to get around the maps faster. And one of the areas has one of those, you know, those really annoying platforms where you have to wait for them to move towards you and then you got to wait for them to move away. Well, I'm like, I've got rocket power boots. I'm just going to jump this gap. It'll be fine. I made the distance and the game's like, hey man, you're not supposed to do that solid wall. And then I just dropped and died. Like, I can clearly make it though. Why are you putting solid walls there?
We haven't loaded that part yet.
They're like, use our slow platforms, please. I'm like, but I just, no.
But you have SSD. You shouldn't be needing to load the platforms. Why are we doing slow platforms?
But that's not a game issue. That's me trying to
cheese it,
trying to do things that I probably shouldn't be trying to do.
Yeah, very possible.
But they are so much fun. Those rocket boots. Once you get them, you just like,
yeah,
you can get through places so quickly.
So I played it in fidelity mode. So that's the 30 frames at 4K with ray tracing.
Yep.
I originally did run it through performance on ray tracing, but I had a lot of screen tearing in the opening cinematic.
None.
And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to bounce out of that. I'll go fidelity instead. So once again, we were playing this pre-launch.
Yep.
We only had it a couple of days before launch, so it's not as if it was like a week's or anything ahead like some of the other reviewers and that out there had. But yeah, within like 2 days there was a patch. So it's very likely that patch may have fixed it.
Yeah.
But I'd pretty much finished the game at that point. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like even though there are some trophies that kind of hint to a new game plus, but I went in and just got them and bounced.
Yeah.
It was actually stupid easy to get them. So
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna rush my way to play it again, but I've still got a couple of trophies to pick up because the trophies, even though neither you nor I are massive trophy hunters, we kind of do it when we feel the urge. And I do feel the urge of this game, and I've got like 4 left to go, literally.
And it was a super achievable platinum.
Yeah,
it didn't. Some of the trophies, I believe there's 2 trophies in the entire list that are actually missable on your first playthrough.
Yeah, I think one of them.
And I happened to miss one of them, and it turns out I needed literally one more kill of that enemy type, and it spawns in straight away as soon as you get to that area. So it took me maybe 10 minutes of a new playthrough. So it's super achievable if you're going that way. The collectible hunting is fun.
Yeah, so I actually ended the game with all of the bots found, all of the gold thingies collected, all of the armor collected.
Yeah, because it's worthwhile doing those. Like each of the armor sets gives you passive bonuses, even if you're not wearing them.
Well, because that's one of the advantages. One of the big changes that they have in this game is the armor set. So throughout the game, whether you go into little pocket dimensions or during challenges, you are rewarded with armor pieces. So there's a head, chest, and legs, and yeah, they give you head, torso, and legs. So yeah, as Max was alluding to, each of them give you passive things, whether it be just more bolt pickups, more raritanium, more better damage against these particular individuals, or better defense against these particular individuals.
Yeah, and same with I believe previous games that when you collect X amounts of the golden nuts or screws or bolts, golden bolts. You unlock the infinite ammo and the
so health. If you go into like the collectible area, I got like big head mode and gun and ultimate ammo and ultimate health, and like you can change the skin of your wrench or whatever, or hammer if you rivet to other things. It's it's mad. Like I actually thoroughly enjoyed. Like I couldn't even tell you how long I played it. I kind of feel it's probably around how long do you reckon was yours?
12 to 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I was gonna say 12. Like 12 was the number I was thinking in my head, but I'm really bad at remembering how long I've played something for. I'm sure if you pull up, if I was to pull up my PSN, it would tell me because I know it says X approximate amount of time, and that's freely available, and the information's there. And of course, you'll see my trophies and all that sort of stuff. So, if someone wants to go in there and check, man, I want to know. I actually have no idea how long I've been playing for, so that'd be nice. But yeah, no, it feels like 12ish hours, which as I said, with you and I both being full-time workers and parents and content creators, that is always a big thumbs up for us, because like that is, we only have so much time in the day, and if we can get a game out that isn't 100 hours, fantastic. That's 100% good news for me. But no, I think the game is tremendous. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I was just like, it is 100% in my top list games of the year. And I understand there is, grain of salt, because, we will provide a review code. We're a PlayStation show. Like, I'm sure there's like, oh, I just like review because it's a fucking PlayStation game. I'm sure it's part of it. But the game's just really fucking good.
Yeah.
PlayStation can quote that if you want to put that on the box. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, no, they Insomniac have really been hitting it out of the park.
Dude, Insomniac...
And like, when you think about it, they've released, 2, technically 3 PS5 games now? Because we got Miles Morales, we got the remastered Spider-Man, and we got now Ratchet.
Yeah, Insomniac are the breakout... They are the breakout studio for PS5 right
and they
now.
only just got purchased.
They just got bought, and they're like, like they have already earned every cent that they got bought out with, right?
Yeah.
Like, they got picked up for 100%. So... really, like, they've earned their keep, and we're not going to see them for a while. The next thing we see them for will be Spider-Man 2, but they have just been an absolute powerhouse for PS5, especially on the back of the news last week where, everything's on PS4 and PS5 moving forward. If this is the last PS5 exclusive that we get, because it might be Jim Ryan, then this is the best one. Like, if you look at what we've seen so far, the 2 other games that are fucking PS5 exclusives, this is by far the biggest winner, the showrunner. Like, because you know why? I didn't want to die while I was playing this, like Returnal. Like, this game is enjoyable. It's fun. Like, it's and unlike Dark Souls and Returnal, which both games are just hard for the sake of being hard because that's the design. But Ratchet and Clank is fun. It's charming. It's adorable. I was playing with my kid and he loved the Lombaxes and it was just a good, well-energy game. Ratchet and Clank is dope.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm not arguing your point there.
I know.
It was really, yeah.
Me getting shitty at Returnal again, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I got shitty at Returnal too when I lost my unlosable item. Returnal, how dare you? Haven't found it again since either. Piece of shit. Really mad. I was like this close to the true ending. It's like, oh, you know that key fragment that you got right before you recorded last week? It's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, bro.
Damn it. Oh, well.
But no, yeah, it's. I'm gonna ask you though. This is a very big important question.
Okay.
Because we just talked about it being a PS5 exclusive. Do you feel that there's anything about this game that is Super PS5?
Honestly, it could probably run on PS4.
I reckon it could too. I truly reckon it could.
Um,
Like, once again, not us knowing the back end.
Now,
like, the Rift stuff is cool, and there's, like, no loading screens, really. But there's, like, trick loading. Like, you learned it by trying to jump that gap.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not as if there isn't loading.
Yeah.
It's just not loading as we know it. So, like, even though we don't understand the back end side of things, that pulling of the Rift or going between levels doesn't seem that
It's cool.
PS5-y.
It's cool that it is seamless, and, like, the little Rift jumps, I would imagine, aren't that huge because you're essentially just pulling yourself forward. It's not like you're.
Yeah, you're moving.
It's a point-to-point jump.
Rather than you going from there to there, the world moves around you.
Yeah, it's essentially a point-to-point jump, but you're not jumping. The world's jumping towards you.
Yes.
Whereas
it's like the whole idea in Futurama where like the black matter doesn't move you in space. The space moves around you.
Yeah, exactly. But those little side areas where you do collect a lot of those armor pieces. Pocket dimensions. You do open that rift and you walk through that rift and then there's a new area. But that old area is still visible behind you. You can turn around and see what's out there. So it's cool that the loading is seamless there. Obviously, I have a feeling that, you know, a PlayStation 4 may explode trying to do that.
Like, I'm watching my wife play Horizon right now on the PS4 Slim that we have in the bedroom. That motherfucker's loud.
But again, you know, we're not developers. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't see how it couldn't run a 1080p on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It won't look anywhere near as good.
We super sample it down,
but a lot of the experiences in this game is not about how, like, as much as this game is pretty and gorgeous and incredible to look at, the game is still fun and mechanically sound and is just fantastic to play.
Yeah.
And if you're not a graphic snob or an FPS snob, you will still enjoy this game even if it was running at 30 FPS at 1080p.
You know what I love,
because the game is fun.
Like, when I would leave and then I would come back and they go, and every time I did it, I went, oh, it's a good looking game. Because I was playing it, I'd forget. You get kind of sucked into it. And then I left and then I come back and I boot back up. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. Or even when you boot up and it takes like 0.2 of a second, goes press X and start menu.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, ooh. I'm like, and then oh, you're pretty. You're fast and pretty.
Because Ali, my wife, was walking in and out as I was playing it. She walked in, she's like, they've changed all the characters. And I'm like, no, these are just the other guys.
Just new ones.
These are just she's like, they're the same, but they're not the same.
Like, that's the catch. That's the catch. Some of the side, like all that charm, all that charisma of the game is still there with all its little characters and like sort of reinventions of old characters. Like,
I'm a huge fan of Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre was dope. I quite liked their version of Quartz. I forget the guy's name in the other Quark. Yeah, Quark.
The
superhero guy. Yeah. He's dope. I like the alternate dimension version of him was awesome. Not having a massive history with Ratchet and Clank. I'm sure there's a lot of references that kind of went past me. Yeah. But I can't fault it. It was real good. I did like the weird sort of like, the accents that they gave the Morts.
Oh yeah.
Because to me it sounds like Marshall's parents in How I Met Your Mother from that sort of Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Sort of, the Canadian. What's that area? that somewhere up there, like that weird kind of Canadian American accent that comes in that sort of those border states whose name I can't think of right now.
Like Minnesota and all that.
Minnesota, that's the one. Thank you. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Puck knows what's up. There you go.
Beach Puck. No, what was I going to say? There was at the start of the game, I'm like, oh, I really wish there was a dodge, and then 5 minutes later, it's like, hey man, there you go. Yeah. I'm like, yes, thank you. Yeah.
It's so good. And like, you know what I love about it? Side note, I'm just going to shit on Knack for a second. So I've been playing Knack with my son as well. And like every jump's a fucking double jump. Like no ledge is jumpable by one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're here.
Okay.
Double jump means something.
Okay, I was getting annoyed with the double jump sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
I found that if you left your jump too long, it's like, hey man, your double jump's gone. You're now gliding. And I'm like, I need that double jump though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this distance. Can you please not hover me for a second? But so what were your go-to weapons? Like your top 3? What were your top 3 of the like 20 odd guns that you get?
The shotgun.
Okay.
When I maxed that motherfucker, I was like,
Never
kadoosh, I was running in there. Knack is way too hard to be a kid's game, survival deal. Not so. My son is loving it. Absolutely loving it, by the way. He's punching goblins. It has a ton of fun with it. Then the warmonger, the missile launcher is pretty mad.
Okay.
I quite like the grenades. Mr. Fungi got a good run through, as well as the little
the Doom glove.
The Doom glove. I just throw like real robo dogs that eat shit. So I'm like, go over there, and they eat things while I'm blasting things over there. You know.
It's nice to see that you've used every gun that I didn't. That's great.
Really? What were your choices?
Okay, so I rocked the Doom glove.
Yeah.
Once I got it. The shock. The thing that shot electric darts.
I didn't like it.
It was so good. It had like the greatest auto aim on it I've ever seen in my life because it's got tracking darts and then it just electrocutes everything and stuns them. And I used the blade saw that had homing saw blades once you hit them once and there's just like flying around. And the sniper rifle. The sniper rifle was
the headhunter. The headhunter was dope.
Headhunter was really useful.
But primarily I didn't use any of them like, at all. The electric one I almost avoided.
Oh, it was so good.
Just because like I did it and I was just like, nah. The shotgun was the 100% success.
I think I used
the big hyper beamy looking one.
Yeah, that was cool. I used that a fair bit. I found that all its upgrade parts were like, do more damage if you can hit more than one per unit. I'm like
okay. I had no issue doing that at all. I'll just like sweep a room with that fucker.
And the minigun, the black hole.
Yeah, when I open that one later on, that really game, that gun is dope. Yeah.
And then obviously the one that they alluded to in their marketing campaign a couple of days ago, where you were rifting stuff in, that was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't have anything cool fall through. I just had like random cars. And
I dropped a Thunderjaw on someone. That was great. I was like, woo!
No, I didn't get the Thunderjaw anyone.
I dropped I dropped that SUV from that Nadine drives around.
Oh, the Jeep.
The Jeep from Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Boo!
Like, pew! And it did like 2 damage. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Damn, I had like a rock.
The hitboxes on some of those things are a bit awkward, but yeah, it was great. Loved it.
Anyway, let us know what you thought of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart if you have played it. If you haven't played it and you've got some questions, drop them in the comments below. I will make sure to answer all of them. There is no embargo or anything right now. I can touch upon anything you want to know. But yeah, no, it's great. So big thank you once again to PlayStation Australia for providing us the review code. We do really, really appreciate the support. They're actually sending us something. I don't know what it is, but I got an email the other day, and apparently they're giving us the FedEx tracker, and it's in Melbourne, so it could be here tomorrow. Ooh. I don't know what it is, but it should be pretty exciting. Because it was really weird. It was like saying like, "Hey, we're sending something." I'm like, what? I was just responding, being like, "Are you sending it to the right people?"
It gets here and it's got. They're like, "Can you sign for it?" No, sorry, it's not for you.
Yeah, he's like, "Hi, are you?" Nope, that's not you. Like, thanks, man. Take it back. But no, anyway. Other than that, I've not played anything else at all.
The only other thing I've been playing is The Escapists 2.
Oh, I love The Escapists. Is that got online multi?
Yeah.
Can we play it?
Yeah.
Yay! Because no one ever wants to play with me.
So there's a story around this game. A couple of months ago, it was free on the Epic Games Store. Yeah. So me and my friends all got it, and for some reason, I could not play with anyone else. wouldn't let me find their games, couldn't join them, couldn't invite them, couldn't do anything. Well, it went on sale in the PlayStation Store for $7. I'm like, ooh, that is a great $7 purchase. So we played Prison. We played The Escapist 2 last night. Me, Cass, and Clint. We're all on. We're doing our own thing. No one's working together at all in any of these scenarios. And we get to one. It's such a fun moment. So we're doing the third level, and I'm like, oh. This is easy. There's no outside guards. All I've got to do is break through a wall and I'm free. So I find a metal rod. I'm like, this is gonna work. And I'm running, and I fail to remember that I've got contraband on me because I'm holding a metal rod. I ran through one of the sensors, and the cops are like, oi! So I quickly run, dump the thing in a box, accept my defeat, get beaten up by the cops, take him back to myself. And then I said to Cass and Clint, I'm like, guys, I've got this. I sneak back out, grabbed my stuff, broke through the wall, jumped out. And it's like, you can't escape without your allies. I'm like, oh. Guys, quick, run upstairs, jump out the hole in the wall. Run. And as they're coming, you get the little notification saying, the damage has been found. I'm like, oh no. Guys, run. So we finished, last night we bowled over all the easy ones.
Yeah.
We started on the medium difficulty ones, and we were like, I have no idea how to tackle this. There's like electric fences and power generators.
I've only ever played it by myself, so I've never had a successful escape. And I've put like a good handful of hours into it, but it always gets to that point I'm like,
well, we need a fourth. We've got 3 people playing. We need a fourth.
I can hold you down if you like. But I did play, speaking of prison, I played Prison Architect. Was that last week?
Oh yeah.
I played Prison Architect. Prison Architect's a fucking ton of fun. Because I love the idea of, I do like being in prison, but also like building the prison. I don't know why. It's that sort of.
Because that's one of those like sim management games. Yeah.
I think I did talk about that last week. Oh yeah, I did. Because 2 Point College or whatever got announced this week. Yeah, good shit. But anyway, that's all we played. So anyway, it's also E3 week, so there is news. Let's get into it now. This is a section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happens this week in PlayStation. It's not even E3 straight, just to kick off the backpack.
Yeah, we'll kick off into some Sony related news first. And it turns out, Ryan, that Jim Ryan does not hate games.
I don't believe you.
So, obviously, famously, Jim Ryan told Time about the occasion he attended a Gran Turismo event. Quote, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, they look so ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?
Oh, you did say that.
That was his quote.
Oh.
That's what he said. Ever since that quote, Mr. Ryan has had the quote used as evidence that he hates older games, which came to prominence earlier this year with the news of the closure of the PlayStation 3 and Vita storefronts. Obviously, that didn't happen, but, that's a whole nother story. Quote, this is from Ryan. Quote, the point I was trying to make, obviously not very well, was just how great the PlayStation 4 version looked and how far the series had evolved, he told Axios Gaming, as reported by VGC. Quote, I certainly wasn't trying to be disrespectful to our heritage. I guess my big learning from all of this is when Kazunori Yamauchi unveils the next Gran Turismo side-by-side with its history, that I will just keep my mouth shut this time.
Good! I appreciate the candidness of that.
Ryan then pointed to Astro's Playroom as an example of Sony celebrating its legacy.
Yes.
Of course, the references in Asobi Team's platform were wonderful, but some fans want to be able to play their PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games on their PlayStation 5. Quote, what is important to recognize when considering this question about designing a new platform is that time, engineering resource, and money are all finite. And that important trade-offs have to be made in terms of what's included and what's not.
So apparently the trade-off that they're paying off right now is we're not going to make any more PS5 games. It's just PS4 games on the PS5.
So, yeah.
What a bitchy thing for me to say. I'm going to take that back. Look, he made a dumb quote. And I appreciate him responding being like, look, it was a dumb quote. All right? I'll admit it was dumb. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a dumb point, but... it's not wrong. Games now look way better than
they do.
Way better than what they did.
There's a reason that no one bought the... I don't even have the box. Here it is here. There's a reason that no one bought the PS1 Classic, because everyone's like, oh, yeah, early 3D sucks.
I mean, the other reason was us in Australia got screwed over with...
stupid expensive.
Well, not just that. It also didn't run at 30 frames.
Yeah, because it's got NTSC versions in there. There's PAL versions in there. It was just a hot mess. Mobile phones. they're still happening. Sony is breaking down barriers to PlayStation's biggest intellectual property as part of a multifaceted strategy that we discussed previously that will see the release of television shows, movies, and yes, smartphone games. As we have discovered over the last couple of weeks, Sony has been hiring for a new mobile-focused division for a little while. And boss, good old Jim Ryan, has hinted that we'll see the quote first fruits of this sooner than you might think, end quote. As part of an interview with Axios, I believe the same one from before, Ryan outlined the organization's reason for exploring smartphones. It seems pervasive to restrict enjoyment of it to our existing PlayStation community, he says. It's a quote that we can imagine sitting well with Sony enthusiasts. Not sitting well, sorry, but there it is. Ryan wouldn't say whether PlayStation will be developing the mobile games in-house or acquiring new studios to do so, but it sounds like this is an initiative being spearheaded by the very top of the company. It's not the same throwaway whim, quote, it's not a throwaway whim, sorry. Quote, we are working on a number of models to open up mobile, he revealed vaguely. Now, I have a problem with this. Not because it's a mobile thing, it's because they tried it before and it didn't work. And mobile games have only garnered less respect in that time. Like, granted, we have Apple Arcade or whatever, but like comparatively, no one's like, oh, you know, this is the renaissance of fucking mobile games.
But I think now,
to me, it's the business. It's all money.
It depends on what kind of mobile games we're talking about. Because these days, most people have smartphones. They're now compatible with PlayStation 4 controllers. They're compatible with PlayStation 5 controllers. Am I going to get to play Crash Bandicoot 3 on my phone using my PlayStation controller? Is that what they're talking about mobile gaming? Or am I going to play some gacha game where I'm getting different Crash Bandicoots out of a bloody claw machine?
Yeah.
Like, it depends on what they're defining as mobile game. Because, like, if it's that, it's gross. Obviously.
I have a feeling it's going to be that.
Oh, yeah, of course, because that's obviously where they think they're going to make their money.
Yeah, because like what we're looking at is we're looking at them being like, look, they are a business. All games are businesses, and and we do have to understand that it's not all about the creative art endeavor that they always talk about. Like, that it is part of it, right? So with that, I understand it, but the reason they're looking at it is, to me, it feels like, once again, Jim Ryan not being a games player. Like, he's on the record of not being a big fan of just not a big fan of games at all, apparently. But I mean, in terms of not a big advocate. So to me, that's someone looking at it going, there's money over there. Well, no, there's money for 2% of the games, and they take all the money.
Yeah.
Like, all the rest of them are shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much money in mobile games, and it's going to the big guys. That is not the market you should be tapping into, my friend. Like, at all. No, but not even regard to a disrespect to those games, that if you want to create a business endeavor, do not go mobile games.
You're not looking forward to Sony's idle clicker game where you gacha your way through random IPs to get characters to fight randomly against other... No.
You know what I really want? That Ubisoft game that just brought a bunch of different things together. That was dope. Give me that.
I must admit the Nintendo ones are not bad, but
like,
super money hungry.
Well, that's the thing. They're super money hungry, and like the entry prices, like the Mario Run was like $15, which standard game prices not that much, but for a mobile game that's pretty high.
Yeah,
and I don't know whether it met that $15 because like for $15 on a console I can get 20-30 hours of a game, right?
Yeah. Where
on a console, it's like, am I getting 20-30 hours worth of mobile game? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, that is me unquestionably being like, welcome to mobile phone games. So I'll admit that one.
Well, earlier this week we got a PS5 firmware update and a DualSense controller firmware update. The patch notes for the PS5 update are, in typical fashion, the system update improves system performance, telling us nothing. However, for the DualSense update, according to Reddit, it does fix the glitch or bug that's been associated with the battery charge indicator when you have your controller plugged in. Now, I've received this every time my controller's plugged in. It's just got a big old question mark on it. It's like, am I charging? Am I not? I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out in a couple of hours, I guess.
I did that when I got the PlayStation. I didn't plug it into the super fast one and didn't charge my controller. Like, there's 3 USBs. All of them should charge. And apparently, no. You have to guess which one, though. So that's good.
Yeah.
Thankfully. All right, now we'll get into some E3 stuff. All right, so first off was the Summer Games Fest. This took place a couple of days ago. Friday morning. It is now Sunday afternoon at time of recording, and we've just got a list of things that the kind of big ones. So these are the ones that are directly related to PlayStation. We'll touch upon some things that aren't if we feel the need.
Yeah, there are definitely things in this list that aren't on PlayStation, but that comes at the bottom.
But yeah, so like we just wanted to touch upon some things. As of recording, because it is Sunday afternoon, Xbox haven't done their conference yet.
Correct.
However, we are going to do a secondary episode, probably record it Monday night, probably hopefully come out Tuesday. If not Tuesday, come out Wednesday. And it will essentially be the Microsoft's E3 presentation, a PlayStation perspective, and we'll look at it from the PlayStation side of things. Because right now, they need to be a dope competitor, and I want them to be a dope competitor. So I'm hoping that after the conference tomorrow, we go, Sony should be shitting themselves. That's what I want. That's what I want to come out of tomorrow.
Imagine if they come out tomorrow and all their games are Series X exclusive. And they just forget about the back end of their console generation.
Look, just like PlayStation, they've already forgot about their marketing. Games are for everyone. Let's make exclusives. Because PlayStation, we believe in console generations, but we don't really. I really appreciate them both just not keeping their word. All right, first off, probably the biggest thing to come out of Summer Games Fest, at least for you, Max.
Oh yeah, I totally stacked this at the top.
Is Elden Ring. We saw a gameplay trailer and a date of January 2022.
So obviously this is the FromSoft George R.R. Martin team up that's been heavily leaked over the last couple of months. I don't recall seeing any of those leaked footage in the trailer that was shown. I'm super surprised that it is coming out in January 2022.
Nothing else comes out in January. That's good news.
Assuming it doesn't get delayed. But it's crazy to think that we're, 6 months out of it now, 6.5 months out of it now, and now they're going, yep, this is it. Here we go. Here you go. This is what you're going to get. So, being a FromSoft game, it's got that Dark Souls feel, it's got that Bloodborne feel. It looked real good, and I'm super keen. I know it's not your jam, but you know what a way to come out. It was that big mic drop moment for Keeley at the end of his Game Fest. He's like, "We got it. Here it is."
Yeah, I understand the love for it, I understand the excitement for it, but as I said on Twitter, I just don't have a boner for Bloodborne games, for Soulsborne games. I really don't. Yeah. So like for me, I'm like, oh, okay, because I was like, if it wasn't that, then I'd be mad. But like with it being from software, it's obviously very, very likely that it was going to have that Soulsborne, Bloodborne, Soulsborne, Dark Souls feel to it, and I saw that and went, nah. So I'm glad you're excited.
I'm super keen for it.
Next up was the Death Stranding director's cut, which I have an issue with in the naming convention alone. Coming to the PS5 at some point.
It's supposed to be coming soon.
Now,
are you complaining that they didn't change directors halfway through and it's not?
No.
No,
I'm pissy that it's not in 4:3 and black and white. No, what I'm shitty about is Death Stranding is a Kojima Productions game. Kojima Productions, it's in the name, Kojima, director. The director's cut normally exists because the original version of the game had to be cut due to like studio demand or some sort of external factors. Nothing about Death Stranding to me reads like a man that was fucking forced to restrain himself.
What happens if in like 3 months' time when this comes out, it's got like 20 more hours of story content that just wasn't in there? Will you be like...
Yeah, but to me, that reads as him making it afterwards. Like, you play that game, it doesn't feel like that there were things cut. It just feels like a game. So to me, I look at that and go, what fucking cut is this? The first cut is the director's cut.
Maybe this is the director's cut of this is now a movie and it's not interactive in any way, shape, or form.
It might as well be.
You just watch the story unfold.
But then again, they could have just called it Death Stranding Extended Edition. But everyone's like, the game was fucking long as it was. So I understand why they didn't do that.
So like, but the trailer itself is just
so good.
So good. Because he pulls out the Metal Gear Solid box. He's like, I'm just going to hide in here now.
Yeah, he walks into like a little bunker and there's a bunch of dudes doing like standard Metal Gear paths. And you see, what's his name? I forgot the actor's name again. Daryl from Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
What's his face? He kind of looks in and goes, oh, no. And then looks over the shelf, grabs the box, sprawls out a bunch of oranges.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. Thank you.
Thank you,
That
Killer.
annoyed the shit out of me for so long. I was like, all that was going through my mind is like, Mads. It's not Mads.
It's not Mads. It's not
the other
Mads.
guy.
It's Guillermo. It's not Guillermo. It's, and he
Conan O'Brien.
So he spills out all the oranges and then puts the box around, looks at it and goes, and then like jumps in it as if it was Metal Gear, and then he sees him go, nah, and then gets out and then puts it back on the shelf. Like, to me,
And then it's got the fragile logo on it.
yeah, that was
like,
dope. That was absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
yeah.
Like, do I need the director's cut? No. Would I play it again?
Yep.
Next up was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a kind of side spin-off to Borderlands, focusing on the character of Tiny Tina. I think she's the connecting piece for it all. Not being a massive fan of Borderlands, didn't really tickle my fancies.
So I'm interested in this because for Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina got her own DLC pack, which was all about Dungeons and Dragons. They have a specific name for it in game, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But the way they ended this trailer, she's like, she alludes to rolling dice, and I'm like, if this is just more of that,
Yeah.
in that D&D setting with the Borderlands fun, I'm super keen.
Yeah, it's because they had Ashley Johnson on stage, and she was all like, "Oh yeah, it's a mythical take on a looter shooter."
Yeah, because Borderlands 3 didn't sit with me as well as the previous two games. I found some of its humor didn't hit the mark as well.
What was 3?
Yeah, didn't hit its mark as well as the previous few. It kind of seemed forced, and so I'm really hoping this is going to go back to what they did with 2 in that Tiny Tina DLC, and if that's the case, awesome,
Man.
be great.
And next up is another Max game.
Yeah, so this was Salt and Sacrifice. This is coming next year to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It is the successor to Salt and Sanctuary.
I was going to say, like, this isn't very similar naming convention, but that's because it's a sequel.
Yeah, so it's basically 2D side-scrolling Dark Souls. Now we co-op.
Woo.
It looks really good. I love that.
Oh, Ashley Birch, not Ashley Johnson. I get them mixed up every time. Thank you, Puck.
I love that the artistic style that they've got going, that kind of like hand-drawn animation type thing. 2D side-scrolling games are fun. Really good. Looks very intrigued. The story seems kind of cool. You're basically like a witch or a wizard hunter. Great.
Fuck you and your Max games. Next up was a Betson game, 2 Point Campus. So they showed off a trailer for PS4, PS5. They announced that it's coming in 2022, and it's essentially the spin, the 2 Point Hospital, the 2 Point Hospital spin on running a school, which is mad because they had like showed a bunch of weird classes and like people in the crowd just as like clowns and fucking random shit. I am super in, and I don't want to wait till next year is the short answer, because I loved 2 Point Hospital. I haven't finished it yet because like it's one of those games that I kind of like, I go to it and I go ham on it, and then something else comes out, so I go away, and then I'll come back to it. So if anything, I'll probably play it this week, because I don't really have it. Like, now that we've finished Ratchet, we're just kind of waiting until whatever the next big release is, and it's like, well, I'll just play more 2 Point Hospital.
Well, I have a feeling there's like none in this month that you'd be interested in.
Probably not.
Because I know...
Because it's fun. I could play Intergrade.
Well, in a couple of weeks, we got Scarlet Nexus, which is definitely not a U game, but I'm super keen for that. And
no Betson game.
what else is coming out? I can't think of anything.
No Betson game.
There's definitely something, but it's just eluding me at the moment.
Yeah, that's all right. Next up, Jurassic World Evolution 2, Betson game, coming in this year. So I played the original one a yonks back on PC, but my PC was trash and couldn't run it properly. So like, fuck you then. So I bought it on PlayStation, and it's mad.
Isn't it the same thing? Isn't it like just like you build Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
What?
Next up, we had the Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes coming in October to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, so October is the same ballpark that like so I think it's the same month as Little Hope. I think Man of Medan was a little bit earlier. But this is cool. So it's a bit more footage from what we saw at the preview keynote-y thing a couple of weeks ago. One thing that made me laugh really, really hard, actually, most because in the preview footage, they clearly went out of their way to not show you what the creature looks like at all. Like, we're not going to show you. And then in this, they go, here's the collector's edition with the statue of the creature. Like, then why fucking make it so vague?
I mean, they have to do that because they can't be like big question mark on statue you're gonna get in collector's edition.
They did it with Spider-Man. They're like, here's a Spider-Man statue, but we're not going to show you because of spoilers.
Really?
They really did. Like, I distinctly remember on the the Spider-Man collector's edition, they're like, we're not going to show you the statue.
No, okay, fair enough.
But I think there's a lot more trust in the Spider-Man statue compared to random creature from such a massive.
You buy it, you get a little statue of Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah. Wouldn't be mad about it.
Next up, we had Bruce Campbell as Evil Dead, the game, coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I don't recall if there was a release date.
No, so this was something that made an appearance at a State of Play a little while ago from memory.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool because, like, to me, it got a bunch of Dead by Daylight. Was Dead by Daylight? Sort of vibes to it. I don't think, and Friday the 13th, obviously. But I think it's a little bit different to that. But that's right. But if you're speaking of other Weeby games that aren't for me, Tales of Arise had a story trailer and it showed off some party members. Does this get you all hard?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played one of the Tales RPGs in quite some time. I think I missed the last few. But they're always fun. Long grindy JRPGs.
Yep, that's the exact opposite. Both those things are not bets and things at all.
They were pre-child max things. Like, now that I've got a kid, I don't know if I have time for this concept. The last two just run through quickly. And a game called Endless Dungeon, which showed off a new gameplay trailer, and Tribes of Midgard, which is coming in July. Any of them? No. No, Endless Dungeon sounds cool. It's one of those it's a co-op roguelite where you explore an endless dungeon. Seems right.
There were other games that did come out as part of the Koch Media announcement as well.
Label.
Yeah. There's more Summer's Game Fest stuff as well as the Koch. I keep saying right, the Koch Media thing. Yeah, they announced Prime Matter.
So they announced their new publishing label being Prime Matter, and they came out and they've gone. We've got 12 games coming. So we've got Payday 3 coming to consoles and PC. Yeah. Payday 3 should be rad.
Oh,
Payday
man,
1, 2 are fantastic games.
See, this is another problem that I have with Payday 2, right? Yeah, I fucking love it, but I had no one to play it with, and the AI sucks anus.
Yeah, the AI did suck.
So, oh god, like, so we were nicely given a little bit of early info on some of these, and this was the one that we knew about. And it was so hard to not want to just gush about the idea of Payday 2, because, like, fuck me.
Next up, we have Crossfire Legion, which was a PC-only game. King's Bounty 2, which is coming in August 24th to consoles and PC. The Last Crew coming to console. It was a third-person action RPG coming out next year. Encased was coming to PC. Gun Rage Gore was coming to consoles in 2022. There were a few games coming under working titles, one of which was The Chant, the other being Final Form. One had a 2022 release date for a quarter. One had no release date. They were both coming to consoles and PC. We had Project Echoes of the End, which was specifically coming for PlayStation 5 and PC. It's a big story-driven third-person action-adventure game built in the new Unreal Engine 5. So that should look magnificent when that happens. Painkiller was coming again, but they gave no information on that whatsoever. They're just like, Painkiller, coming. So we're doing something with it. Other than that, the Summer Games Fest did its thing. There are a bunch of indies. There are a bunch of cool-looking stuff. But this being the show that we do, are kind of primarily focused on the PlayStation.
Yeah, same goes for like Devolver as well. They did their showcase, but like primarily PC stuff, so we didn't really jump on it too much here. And Justin says in the chat, don't forget Metal Slug Tactics. They did show Metal Slug Tactics. Not coming to PlayStation, though.
Yeah, correct.
All right, so this is the one I did watch in full. So this morning, they did Ubisoft Forward, which is the because as you know, on the record, I always get called Ryan fucking Ubisoft Betson. That's because I tend to love Ubisoft games. Not their practices, just their games.
Not all their games, just something.
Not all their games either. So, but yeah, here's a list of their related announcements that happened during the conference.
We got Avatar Frontiers of Pandora coming to PlayStation 5 next year.
Who the fuck wants this game? Who the fuck wants this game, Max? Like, I look at this and I am genuinely baffled, right? Like we've been waiting for this everlasting sequel of a game that really was a movie that really wasn't that good anyway. Like if you took the 3D away from it, the movie sucks butt. It's horrendous. Like no one I know has ever actively rewatched Avatar because the novelty of the 3D was it.
Yeah, I think Puck's got it right. I think it's coming out with the movie sequel.
When's that coming? You got to remember, like you remember when fucking Avatar 1 came out? You know when? Oh, my first year of high school. It's like 9 years ago, 10 years ago. Not high school, university.
I was gonna say, like
university. I forgot how old I was for a while. When I was in like my first years of university, man, like it's a decade ago. This as a license is not relevant. Unless I can like tail fuck a horse or whatever they do it, like, you know, they do in the movie when the two Na'vi bang each other, then they use the same dick to like get connected to a horse. Like, unless I can do that, I'm out. No, I don't know why this game exists. I know it's been in the works for a while. I know that it's done the rumor circulations for the longest time, but I don't know who wants this. It's gonna
clearly not you.
It's gonna. I know this once again. This is. I don't want it to. Is it gonna bomb, or is that just putting my prejudice against it?
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? The thing is, you know, not all moviegoers are game players, and that line of translating stuff that, like, especially from game to movie or movie to game, sometimes it just doesn't translate well, and they both end up suffering.
So in the chat, Puck adds, I watched the giant bomb riffing on it, and they kept making the tail fucking joke the entire time. Because that's the one thing that I took out of that movie. It was like, did I just watch them fuck a horse? Did they? Because hang on, they just... No, that's right. And then the fact that Sam Worthington was in a wheelchair the whole time. He's all those actors no one's ever seen since Avatar. No, he did fucking Spartacus and Hercules and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking cares about Sam Worthington.
Next up, we had Rainbow Six Extraction coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in September.
Yeah, so it is literally Siege. It's a spin-off of Siege. It's a lot of your operators from Siege in this. However, it's PvE.
Yeah.
Which got me all excited because PvP sucks because I'm not very good. PvE, on the other hand, give me some PvE.
I can shit all over the environment. That's
yeah,
great.
Yeah, I love destroying environments and characters that aren't made by people with skill, in terms of players of skill. But this looks dope. So the idea, because this was originally going to be called like Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Yeah.
And to me, it gave off this kind of zombie-esque vibe.
I think they realized that the world was in quarantine and like maybe we should change the name real quick.
Yeah.
Which we'll do Extraction. We'll
that
get
is
out of quarantine.
100% true. They did make that pivot. But with that, like I think originally it was a zombie pitch.
Probably.
But now it's an alien pitch. And I kind of like it more.
So the aliens are extracting us now.
Yeah, so there's... You as your group of operators go in to it's essentially the dark zone in Division, but with the operators and in first person, and it's cool, and aliens. So you go in there, you get your gear, whatever, and then if one of your operators die, they are MIA. You cannot get them back. Like, you can't just be like, oh, end the mission. Guess what? I'm Sledge again. Nope. You have to go back in there and get them out. You have to extract them. And of course, it sounds like there's a constant of that risk reward similar to the Dark Zone. So if you love the Dark Zone in Division, which I didn't because I was getting wrecked by everyone because I'm not very good at fighting other players. But I'm actually a little keen for this because Rainbow Six Siege is cool in concept.
Yeah.
I am just nowhere near good enough to play it.
That's fair.
Because I forget that you can break through walls. So I'm hiding in a corner and the wall breaks out and then I get hit in the face.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I play that game, I get killed by someone's lying down on the ground with literally a fist-sized hole punched in the bottom of the wall, and I get shot in the ankle as I'm walking past. And I die. Like, okay, cool. That's great. Love it.
Good game.
Next up, we had Riders Republic coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in September 2nd.
So it's steep, but not steep.
It's steep, but global warming's taken effect.
Yeah, it's steep-esque. Yeah. So they've taken... Like, obviously, they really were baffled how steep wasn't a success. Like, let's just double down. Like,
maybe it's the snow that no one liked.
Yeah, no one liked the snow. No. It was the vagueness of the game. Like, there wasn't direction apart from go to the top of the hill and get down as fast as you can. which I guess is kind of what snowboarding and skiing and fucking jumping off shit is. So they nailed it. Actually, no, they fucking nailed it, really. But yeah, so there's like wingsuits in this. There's bikes. There's fucking snowboarding as well. There's a bunch of other different things. It looks cool. There's a lot more interactivity as well. There's like 64 player races and stuff. So if that's for you, give it up.
We also got to see some. We got some information about Far Cry 6's DLC, which will feature previous villains, including Vars.
Yeah, man. So in the season pass, they're essentially doing like an expanded world sort of thing where all the villains are sucked into some alternate void by the looks, and then you get to play as them. So you play as Pagan Min, you play as Vars, you play as Joseph Seed. Gimme.
Yeah, that seems cool.
Meh.
Ryan's already giving Ubisoft his money.
Yeah, just sprinkling money everywhere.
Aiden Pierce is.
And Blood Dragon. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon comes with it too.
Yeah. Aiden Pierce is heading to the new DLC for Watch Dogs Legion.
Cool. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
is getting supported into 2022 with new DLC. Free DLC, they mentioned. And some updates as well.
Surprising no one. They've been really, like... Lately, Ubisoft have really been...
Yeah, because they talked about this is like the only Assassin's Creed they've ever supported into a second year.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And like for those that have played it and finished it, because the game's fucking huge, you want more of it? Like, no, there's too much already. Calm down. But they've also talked about how it's adding all of the like the learning cool shit they did with Origins. I think they did it with Odyssey as well. Like the toury thing.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that looks mad.
Yeah.
So they've added that into this as well, and that's coming later in the year or next year, one or two. And that's mad. So you got we'll remember about Viking things.
Just Dance 2022 is coming in November in 2021 to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, people like Just Dance, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the loudest booths that it fucking packs every year.
I can imagine.
But no, it's cool. Like in terms of franchise that like is super family. I shit on Just Dance all the time. But it is like a great family friendly thing, and they got the what's the name of the individual that they got for it? It's they're a YouTuber, dancer, actor, skill, and like I've known him before because he rocked up in an episode of Queer Eye on Netflix.
I've no idea.
But like they've got a song in it, and I was like, I don't know who they are, and I'm like jamming the song a little bit. I'm like, that song goes alright. So that's cool. I think that will bring in a bunch of people as well because they're remixing the song and shooting a video for it and stuff. So it's his own kind of unique thing in there, which is really cool. Which is not too bad. So quick question about Valhalla. After Killer says injects Far Cry 6 in Orion's veins. Yes. And Buddy says join us in the Division new game. Yup. Deal. Lizard Runner asks, what did y'all think of the sound mix on Valhalla? What got me was when you're in Norway or whatever, and when you're on the first peak, because then much better than that, by the way. And I was like, that's when it got me, and like
I found myself just rolling around aimlessly listening to the sea shanties and the guys were singing. I was like, yes. And lastly, to continue the music theme, Rocksmith Plus is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 with a subscription teaching tool to learn how to play guitar.
I've always wanted to learn guitar. Hence why my love for like Rock Band and Guitar Hero. And I have an old guitar here. It's an old Maton guitar. So the guitar is like, it was made in 1962. It's this beautiful old guitar, and I've always wanted to learn how to play it, but I just never had the skill or time.
Yeah.
So hence why I play drums, because drums I can at least keep a beat, and it's kind of it hits my ADHD part of my brain. I'm like, yeah. But if they can gamify learning guitar, then I know Rocksmith has been around for a while, and they did it in the past. We had to get like a little dongaroo and you plugged it into the thingy. But the thing they're using is they're using your phone primarily as the microphone to pick it up. So obviously you need an amplifier or at least have it near your guitar, which is cool. I love it as a concept because it's a subscription service. You pay X amount of a month and you get access to a massive backlog of music, so you can play stacks of genres. And I'm kind of debating whether I make it a little mini series for here. I'm like, like we have our Get Less Fat update.
Ryan learns how to shred.
Ryan learns how to play guitar, and then I'm like, well, using Rocksmith this week, I learned the fucking C chord. And then like 6 months, like, how far have you progressed? Not much at all. That's what I'd love to see. This is you. Oh, that'll be me because you got quick
That'll be
bits.
you, yeah.
Okay, so Sony partners with
Deviation
Games. So there was that class that fucking Harry takes in Hogwarts.
That's divination.
Yeah, close enough. Sony has announced
Not even close. I was about to say deviation is real, but
All right, hang on.
oh, jeez. This is live, guys.
Sony has announced yet another partnership with a new developer to make a new IP under its wing for PlayStation consoles. Deviation Games is making a, quote, brand new original IP, end quote, and that's just about all that we know. So it's just about as vague as fucking Haven. Mad. As part of a PlayStation blog post, CEO Dave Anthony said, quote, while I can confirm development is already underway, it's really early for us to be going into specific details. Then don't announce it, dude. We're drawing on what we've learned over our collective decades making games, but we're also out to make something fresh and brimming with innovation like you've never experienced before. We're not afraid to say that our ambitions are super high. We're setting out to make a huge content-rich game with a focus on a lot of action and a lot of energy. But let's leave it at that for now, and hopefully it won't be long before we can share more, end quote. Alongside Jason Blundell, who is best known for his work on the Call of Duty franchise, Deviation Games has already grown to be over 100 employees. Quote, to our fans, particularly those who have followed some of our team members' past work over the years, thank you for all your support, particularly now as we venture into creating something for ourselves. Now, I am concerned that they're announcing this just like Haven with nothing. Like, I understand things take time, but to me, I feel this is them going, Microsoft are going to announce that they've bought some more shit at E3.
Yeah.
We need to announce something.
No, I agree.
They're like, fuck, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing.
We're not even there.
We're not even there. What are we going to do? It's a fucking freebie for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not enough information there to be anything.
Not at all. So only a short amount of quick bits this week. Earlier this week, Battlefield 2042 was officially announced, coming to current gen consoles and previous gen consoles. Multiplayer only. 128 player support for current gen consoles, 64 player support for previous gen. Yeah, no campaign.
You know what that makes me excited? I can die 127 times. Like, that's all I read. When I read that there are that many players on one map, I'm gonna die fucking so much.
So they alluded to there being like 3 different distinct game modes. There's no battle royale. There is no campaign. It is just slightly in the future Battlefield. So
yeah, it's like, we will live to see 2042. So like, what have they got? Like the iPhone 15, 16 maybe at best?
The XXL.
Yeah, it's big honking, you know. Like 2042 is close enough that not a lot of improvements can happen. Like, this isn't the 80s or the 70s where they thought 2020 was going to be something tremendous. 2020 just sucks. But like 2042, like, are we still in lockdown?
Yeah.
Probably.
And lastly, Returnal will be receiving another patch in the near future to fix some trophy issues and tweak some balance issues. I believe they're making the platinum more achievable.
Good.
Some of the scout logs apparently aren't spawning in often enough, so they're going to just bump those numbers up a little bit.
Mad.
So congratulations to all of those people who have already gotten their
well
plat
done.
on hard mode. Hopefully I'll be able to get my plat when it's easier, because I keep losing stuff.
Cool. I hope with this balancing issues, I can get out of World 3. Well, I can get out of World 3. That would be nice. I'm very stuck in World 3. So that'd be nice to get out of.
World 5's worse.
Fuck. All right, here are the top 10 best-selling PlayStation 4 games in Australia for the week ending the 6th of June 2020. They are as follows. Number 10, Knockout City. Did you go and end up buying it? Didn't you have a blast with it?
Okay, so...
Sorry, we'll get to the listener thing.
It's currently free up until level 25.
Yeah.
You can just play it as much as you want. I have an EA Access subscription, so it's free for me anyway.
Oh, fuck you. All right. Number 9, The Last of Us Remastered. Number 8, It Takes Two. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 6, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 5, FIFA 21. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 3, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 1, NBA 2K21.
Lots of 2s in there.
A lot of 2s.
Lot of 2s.
A lot of sequels in there. Except for Knockout City. Shout out to the only new IP in there. No, really. Oh, that goes Tsushima, I guess, but yeah. And you scroll down like there's more, but there isn't.
Currently, there is no upcoming games.
Yeah, no one's releasing games this week, which makes sense. No one really releases shit on E3 week. It's just kind of a given.
Yeah.
No one really gets in there. But anyway, yes, as we mentioned earlier on, we will be back. You get a second sneaky episode of For the Players this week, a little bonus taste for you as we watch the Xbox, the Microsoft conference with Bethesda, and we will do a follow-up episode, the idea of Microsoft PlayStation conference, Microsoft E3 conference, a PlayStation perspective, and we'll look at it through the eyes of PlayStation, which is what we do, and be like, should we be scared? And then I have a feeling the answer is yes.
And it'll be me trying to not talk about Square Enix, who is
talk about Square Enix.
Who is on right after.
We can chuck some Square Enix in there as well.
Because if I get the announcements that are rumored to happen, I'm gonna be very happy.
Yeah, so we were gonna wait until the next episode, which is 7 days from right now. The problem is that that's too bit of a wait, and if something massive happens, I want to talk about it. And as I said, for me, a big part of why I love PlayStation, obviously, but I am not I want to see the competition eat shit. I'm in a stance of I want to see the competition do well, because then that'll make PlayStation do good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if we go in this and they start just laying out fucking killer titles, I'm like, yeah, like that's what I want to see. I want to see that fucking competitive spark. Like I honestly haven't enjoyed PlayStation just pounding Xbox in a submission for the last like X amount of years. Like that's not fun.
Yeah,
it's not fun at all. That is how we get the arrogant Sony that everyone talks about. And that's how, honestly, that's why we're seeing the business choices that they're making right now, because they've had such a free reign win for a while. I want Microsoft to come in and fucking rattle their cage or kick open the cage and stab him. Like, both scenarios are dope for me.
Their jimmies.
Yeah. Just stab, here comes Phil Spencer, fucking shanks Jim Ryan, metaphorically. Figuratively. Either way. But that's coming. Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all. So big thank you everyone for joining us during the show. Big thank you to Fabes_19 and King Kyle LJ for following us during the show as we do record this bastard on Twitch. Are we gonna do the Microsoft one in person? We do it online. What's the plan?
It'll probably be in online because it'll have to be a nighttime thing. So it's just easier.
Well, there you go.
With my time frame of from 8:30 till 11, I've got some free time. I'll probably just chill at home for it.
All right, because that'll be a sneaky online one.
Sneaky online one. Yeah.
Beautiful. So we'll see that later in the week. But thank you all once again. We do really appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, like Puck and Buddy and Lizard Runner, like a bunch of new names in the chat today. Yeah, so Lizard Runner coming here for the first time after being recommended by one of our mutual friends. I hope it was slightly above average.
I hope they undersold us, so we overperformed.
Yeah, big time. That's one of our big standing point. All right, send it on home, Max.
Well, guys, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, please come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, you can by heading over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, as well as become part of be in the chat, become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. What was that, Pop Cultures? We aim to undersell so we can overperform. That is the best trick. That's the trick. What we're essentially doing is like, it's small, don't look at it. And we pull past, it's like, that's not as small as we expected. I'm like, yes. It's still not enough, but it's better than you thought. I think if you want to support content from if you use us on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. We endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until we talk Microsoft and E3 some more, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players.